The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
Kiwi.
All right, a reminder that the documentary channel is running a series of indie documentaries throughout May, June and July from New Zealand and around the world as well. It's presented by Jonathon Marshall, and it's nice to catch up with Jonathon. He's on the line with us here this morning. Good morning to you, Jonathon.
Good morning to you, how are you?
Very good. Now, you're basically the curator of this indie doc series, aren't you?
Well, I can't take credit for devising the concept, but executing it on screen probably.
And actually figuring out what docos to put up.
No, I can't even take credit for that. There's a wonderful team at the documentary channel who obviously hear from movie makers around the world.
Yeah.
New stuff that's coming out that they've put together, and so I suppose they spend all of their days going through the material that's available and choosing what's best. So I do other stuff during the day, which means I can't do that, but they do a very good job, and I basically come in at the end once it's all put together. And
present it. So you're up before the docos actually saying, oh, this is what's coming up, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, coming up on Saturday is one called Shambhala. Tell us about that one.
Well, that is based in the Kootenay Mountain Ranges, which is in Canada, and the closest New Zealand equivalent to what's contained in this documentary is probably something like Rhythm and Vines, although the Canadian version is a lot less commercial. And it's been going since 1998. It's an outdoor music festival. And this documentary basically looks at that 5-day event that carries on each year. Probably a lot more acid, to be honest, at this Canadian version.
Yeah.
There was an event which is covered in the documentary, which in 2007 saw a guy climb about 70 feet up a tree and involved the other partygoers having to get him down, which happened safely.
Crawling out of his skin, almost probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, this event in Canada attracts the likes of Crafty Cuts, Adam Freeland, Freak Nasty, so some quite high-profile names in the electronic industry.
Nice. And
yeah, as I say, quite similar to Rhythm and Vines or the Sweetwaters of days gone by.
Cool.
But that'll be a really good one. That's this Saturday at 9:30.
And then next week, one called Inside Outside.
That one is focusing on the sort of evolving graffiti movement and looking at how basically graffiti artists take it a lot more seriously than, say, those that were painting on the fence outside Bruce Emery's house here in South Auckland a few years ago.
Yeah.
They actually treat it as a job, as an art, and in some cases they actually become bigger than the things that they're actually destroying, which are big billboards. And so if you can imagine these huge billboards in Paris where they would turn up and just completely change what the billboard is trying to tell you in the first place, and what they end up doing to it with their can of spray paint becomes bigger than the object that was there in the first place.
And I suppose Banksy would be the most high-profile sort of artist in this area.
Absolutely. I don't know if Banksy's actually covered in this one, but you're along the same lines there.
In fact, I think at Banksy's, he's got a whole separate documentary. I think it's screening at the film festival this year.
I think you're right.
All about him. Yeah.
But this really trails how kids are, and I don't know if this is the same in New Zealand, but certainly in these countries where this documentary is put together, kids are taking graffiti more seriously. So instead of just tagging something that's sort of meaningless, they're using it as a way to sort of convey a deeper message, which they may not be able to do through the mainstream media.
Yeah, and we don't see so much of it here as we would, say, in Melbourne.
No, I was trying to think when I was preparing to talk with you what the equivalent of it in New Zealand is, and maybe I'm just not aware of the things around me because you sort of travel through the same spaces every day. But what you see in this documentary, there's no carbon copy here in Auckland.
No, you see the odd little stencil around, but by and large, nothing too thought-provoking.
No. I mean, you'd probably get arrested as well if you were to go and spray paint over a billboard of Simon Dello or something.
Exactly. All right, Jonathon, thanks so much, and we'll see you on the documentary channel Saturday evening presenting Shambhala. That's around about 9:30 p.m. Cheers.
Thanks very much.
See ya. And of course, that indie documentary series continues throughout the rest of June and into July as well. Check out the schedules and also the website documentarychannel.co.nz. Right, got a track now from Bannerman. This is brand new.